Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy and Fractured Space. Today we're playing in the Enforcer, a very small, agile, very mobile, fast ship. And I enjoy playing this ship quite a bit actually. Now here initially I jump to beta and I zoom in here trying to see if I can spot some enemies. So I see one jump in there, I zoom in, I see that's the Pioneer. And at the beginning, I just have a quick look just to make sure that I know who was here with me here at this in this sector. So we can see the speed that this thing is able to do. I'm already at the first mining outpost, and here we go. That's the I think that's the Venture. Yeah, looks like a Venture. Because we also have a super lifter on the team, but those looks a bit similar. But here you can see once you get this ship up and close and you get that escalating cannon going, it can really do a lot of damage. I mean, look at it once it recharged here. Okay, you didn't really get to see the full potential there, but the gun on the ship do more damage for each shot that hits, so you really want to hit with every single shot. And that's why I prefer to use it very short range, because it's not the most accurate weapon, and if you miss just a few shots, you really suffer a lot of damage. Look at that. I took a third of his health there in just one go. I tried to use my blink to get his aim off a little. And there we see 2,500 damage in a single volley. It does have a long recharge time. At least the version of the weapon I'm using here. And you can see just as soon as I get just a little bit of a distance here, I'm having a hard time landing all my shots. I have a poor aim with this weapon, I must say. I mean, I'm not the best escalating gunner, but we do get him down in the end. And already here, we are only, I don't know, 2 minutes in, and we are already pressing hard on the enemy forward station here. Open up on the sensor, but we have an equalizer here, very fast ship. He can be very difficult to hit and very difficult to catch. I'm beginning to take some damage, so I abandoned the cap here. Still have 20 seconds, 25 seconds actually, until my boost unlocks. I would really love to have my boost right now, because it would have helped me a lot to get away from this guy. So I try to use the rock here to give me as much cover as possible, and I do actually prevent some of the incoming damage. You can see he is no longer shooting at me. Trying to buy myself that little bit of extra time that I need to get out. There he is, he's trying to catch up with me, but only 4 seconds, and my boost will come off cooldown. Very low health now, 1500 damage, and there we go, boost is up. But with this low amount of health, I think it's unlikely I'm gonna get out. I use the manual jump instead of jump hope, because it jumps faster, and right now I really need to get the hell out of here. And I do manage to get out with a very low amount of health, so we can really use that boost there to get out of trouble, but you can also use it to get into a lot of trouble if you're not careful. So when you boost towards someone, you really need to make sure that there's not someone hiding behind a rock somewhere, because if you're suddenly caught out and your boost is on cooldown, they will take you down, they will take you down quickly. 1.5 minutes until Gamma unlocks, and we're getting our ship repaired right now. No one's at beta right now from our team, and we have a lot of people all the way at our forward station, because this looks like they're actually pressing pretty hard in Alpha. They're pretty far forward, so I decided to go over there and try and help defend. It doesn't look like the enemy team is advancing in beta at the moment, at least they're not taking the mining stations. So look around, I noticed there was another ship here. I couldn't really spot him at the beginning, so I decided just to move up and begin to close my distance to the Leviathan here. Try to use my disabling shot here, but it hits the rock, unfortunately. The Leviathan being such a big ship, I can actually hit him with a decent amount of shots from the distance I'm at right now. You can see almost all of my shots hit, and there we go, we take him down. Okay, so now that he is down, perfect timing to get him down, because only 30 seconds until Gamma unlocks. This is going to be very important. And now we're going to see the main feature of this ship. That's the buoy that I fitted. This is the cap rate buoy that increases my team's rate of capping significantly. So everybody inside the buoy will get a large boost to the rate at which they're capping. So now we have a Venture here. He's dropping a shield buoy, which is perfect. I aim my buoy a little high here. And now we have the super lifter as well. 3 people in here, 1 second, and there we go, it unlocks. I shoot my buoy, it hits the structure. Now we have 3 people inside. Look how quickly we're capping. 40%, 50%, 75%, and done. That's how fast you can take the gamma sector with just 3 people. And we just completely overwhelmed them, which is good because they managed to get beta and get 2 people into our base. I could have gone for the home base and helped defend. It would probably be a better move here, because if I had my buoy off cooldown, I could have gone in here, dropped the buoy, and then quickly regained the base. But it would probably have been of more help back in the base trying to prevent them from getting the cap points. But right now we're stabilized at 12%, and they're not capping any longer. We still have people fighting it out in Gamma, and right now we have 1 ship and they have 2, which is actually good for us. That means that there are fewer ships in our base. We managed to secure the home base, and we jump in just as the last ship. He is at a very long range. We're not going to be able to hit him with our escalators at that kind of range. So just getting into the base and waiting for my my jump drive to get off cooldown, so we can jump back into beta and begin to regain some of those mining stations. They have a little bit of an advantage on points right now. They are at level 5, 1/4 into to level 5. We are still struggling to finish level 4 or get to level 5, so we're a little bit behind. So we really need to begin to get some of those mining stations so we can get some points and begin to level up the team. Because we were lucky doing the first gamma sector that they didn't show up with that many people, and we were able to cap it so quickly. But if they get ahead on points, they can very easily outpower us with their ships. If they have more points than we have, so we need to get those points in. And there's the Leviathan. He looks like he just jumped out of the gamma sector, and he's badly damaged. And this is like a prime target for a ship like this, a wounded enemy, and he is isolated. All his friends are actually at the other side. So just as he's about to move into to the cover here, I move up next to him. Try to use the cover as well. The ghost follows me as well. He's on very low health. He's of course trying to get in here to get some repairs. We deny him that, take him down, using their own forward station to shield us from the enemies. And you can see now they have more people jumping in. I decide to try and make a quick escape, move around. Hopefully they won't notice that I'm jumping out. We were 2 on 3, so not much we can do there. I do have my buoy off cooldown, so I was hoping that I could make a quick few points before they manage to get in here and stop me. This is pretty much a suicide mission because I'm alone in here right now. But I dropped my cap rate buoy, and look how fast I'm capping, even though I'm only 1 person in here. It's actually going pretty quickly. And I do a little bit of a misplay. I almost exit my own bubble here, and I'm taking a lot of damage. As I said, this is a suicide mission. But we managed to cap 26%, which I think is not bad actually for a single quick cap. I tried to get away, but of course boosting inside the station is not going to help you reduce the incoming damage. But while we're respawning, this is probably a good time to talk about some of the other ways you can fit this ship, because the cap rate buoy, which is what I'm using, is the offensive version that increases your rate of cap and all your teammates inside the bubble. You can also get it in the media version, or in the let's take the defensive version first, where you reduce all the enemies' cap rate once they're inside the bubble. So you can of course also use that to defend your own base and to prevent the enemy team from capping Gamma if there are a lot of people there, which can be effective as well. And then of course there's the midway where you get a little bit of both. Of course, but not as effective. So we respawned, jump into Gamma, and we have our jump access to the base. We have 3 ships there waiting for my jump drive to unlock. People are slowly moving in, and I'm thinking, okay, with actually 4 people in there from my team, if I can get in there and drop that bubble and just cover at least a few of us, we might be able to outcap them and to begin to regain some points. So I boost in. But everybody inside the caps, or inside the station bubble, was killed, unfortunately. So I dropped my own bubble, But it's not really working because they are simply just outnumbering us. I think right now 4 to 1, maybe 2. Cannot see. Maybe we have 2 ships in here. So even with the cap rate buoy, that's just not gonna happen. I tried to get that venture down, but again, with the amount of incoming damage, that was just not going to happen. So that was. I would have loved if we would have stayed alive a little bit longer. I was hoping that more from my team would have got into the base. I don't know why they was lingering outside the bubble. But it looks like we still have people incoming, and this is a thing that you sometimes see. If you keep pressing the enemy base, they will eventually take you down. But if you manage to respawn and get back before they take down your whole team, and you're able to get back, what you will end up with is everybody coming in one at a time, and they'll just keep killing you over and over and over again. So even though you might have jump access to the enemy base, if you're outnumbered 1 to 4 in there, and there's no one else on their way in, I don't really see any point in doing it. You might be better off falling back at that point, and then going back out to the corridors and try to even maybe cap some more mining stations, get the other forward station. Or give them a little bit of a time to jump out. Wait for them to maybe just a second or 2 before they manage to close jump access, and then start your jump drive. Remember, you just have to start your jump drive before the station is capped. So if you have your jump drive spinning up and they cap the forward station that allows you jump access, you will still be able to cap in because you already got a lock on the destination. So that's a good thing to know, and you can actually make a little sneaky extra attack right at the end if they jump out early, which people often do, I find. So again here, we are 3 people at Gamma Sector, 20 seconds until it unlocks, and we're getting ready again. Same people, Venture, Superlifter, and me in the Enforcer. Moving to a very similar position here. The enemy shows up a little bit earlier this time. There are currently 2 people here. 10 seconds until it unlocks. I try to shield myself a little bit. I am the weakest or the most squishy at the moment, and I cannot use my mobility whilst we have the bubble up. Here we go. Gamma unlocks, bubble is up. We are 25% already. We have the ghost in here as well. I'm not sure if he's inside the bubble. It looks like he is. And there we go, 100%. Very fast cap again. And again, if you can get a large amount of your team members into the bubble, your cap rate buoy bubble, you're definitely gonna cap both the base and the Gamma Sector very quickly. So they did a similar tactic as they did last time. Just as Gamma unlocked, they pressed forward and tried to make an attack on the home base, on our home base, while Gamma was unlocking. But this time we were a little bit more prepared. We got in a little bit earlier. I boosted in here because I didn't want to sit too close to the Pioneer there. I wanted him to come closer to the station, so I would get support both from my team, but also from the guns on the station. There's no reason for me to lose a lot of health to him, and I don't know, potentially could have killed me, I don't know. I think at this point I should be able to outdamage him, but you never know, so better safe than sorry, that's why I boosted in. So now that he's gone, we still have people fighting it in Gamma, so very much a repeat of what happened last time, that we are holding some of their people back at the Gamma Sector, prevent them from jumping out. Meaning very few from their team can actually get into the base. Now we have a second one jumping in, and he did what I was talking about before. He jumped in just as we were about to close jump access, and we had an empty base, and he managed to just get in, and that's the equalizer. Very fast ship, and he was actually capping very quickly. 43%. There he is trying to jump out. Is he going to make it? Very low health here. Can I get another shot out? No, he managed to get out. I don't know if I can remember if this has a faster reloading version with less alpha damage. Maybe it did. I cannot remember if it does, but maybe I would be able to get him down if we used that weapon instead. So we see someone trying to cap the other forward station. I expect this might be the escalator because he just jumped out. And if he didn't jump back, well, I was right. He might be trying to cap our forward station. And they do manage to cap it. He tries to get away, but I think his boost is on cooldown. Unfortunately, I do not manage to get up quite high enough, and there we go, with his boost up. Very low health. I've got a bit of a misplay here. You can actually see me stopping here because I decide to... Oh, no, wait, should I go back to try and cap the base? And I probably should have stayed there to get that little bit extra. But I changed my mind, and then I start my boost while sitting still, meaning I'm not getting the full potential out of my boost. So, quite a bit of a misplay. And again, you see him get out with a sliver of health. And I expect maybe he jumped back to the base. It would surprise me if he did with that little health left. But no, it's the Leviathan. Disable him and open up with the guns. Decent amount of damage here. He's focusing on our generators to try to take down some of our guns. We have lots of people shooting at him right now. Get a little bit of a distance, expecting that death explosion. Don't want to take too much damage from it. Take a little, but nothing that the base can't handle. So once again, we have been a little bit of the back foot lately. They've really been pressing us hard, and they are on front of cap points. But we managed to regain some of the points that we were behind on level. But now we managed to close jump access to our base, and it doesn't look like they got any people in this time. And there we have the equalizer jumping out again. He's playing very, very defensively. Very good play by him. I mean, he probably already seen that we have 3 people in the sector. Maybe he saw the blink from when we jumped in, and he didn't want to fight 3-on-1, which, I mean, you can't blame him, right? So anyway, we have 3 minutes until Gamma Sector unlocks. Plenty of time. And I begin to move up, wanting to get those last points to get us up to level 9, so we can get that last upgrade. If we're lucky, we could get that before Gamma 3 unlocks, but we'll have to wait and see. And now we see ships actually popping up the sector left and right. So I try to use the station here for shielding myself a little bit, because I'm a little isolated right now. I want to have my teammates come up a little bit closer. We see the Leviathan closing in on me. I think he wants revenge from both from when I killed him when he tried to move into the base to get repairs, but also the amount of damage we did to him at the home base. So here we are, using the blink to get up close to him, which of course prevent him from using his lasers properly. And now we just need to get some damage in. I decide to actually get away from him here, because I don't know, I should probably have stayed at that point, because I wasn't really taking that much damage and I had plenty of support. I think I was getting a little bit afraid of there being 2 ships, and I didn't really have a good overview of where my friendly ships was, and I guess that's what separates the good players. And I mean, I'm not a good player. I look at myself as a mediocre player. I'm decent, but not good, and I didn't have a proper overview of where my friendly ship was around me, which was why I jumped out. There we have. That looks like a Black Widow somewhere. Don't know where he is right now. I think that's the guy I can see right to my right now on the scanner. There he is. Shots coming in. Missiles coming in. Try to avoid some of the damage here. And we managed to cap their base. 60 seconds until Gamma unlocks. Taking a lot of damage there. Also hit me while I jump. 2 seconds until my boost unlocks, which is perfect timing. Meaning as soon as I've turned around, activate my boost. Wait until I'm close to the station. Open up the cap buoy. I opened up a little bit early. I actually drift out of the bubble. You should really wait until you can attach it to a surface. I think it works the best like that. It does reduce its effective area, but when you're the only one here, it doesn't really matter. So again, they're scrambling to get back, trying to prevent me from capping. Again, with the buoy, we are capping very, very quickly. 64, 65%, still going up, and they're still scrambling to get back into the bubble to prevent me from capping. And there we go. Now they're both. They need to be both in the bubble to prevent me from capping, because I have the buoy. Now the buoy is down, so I try to get as much damage into the Venture here as I can. But going in close range with a Venture when I was already at half health was never gonna end good and well, especially not with a Pioneer as support. So a bit of a bad timing for me to die just as Gamma 3 unlocks. And at the rate we're capping, and I still have almost 40 seconds until I spawn, that's probably going to mean that I'm not going to get the bonus from Gamma 3, which can be can be quite a problem when if my team have jump access to the base and I cannot get in there and help. But at the moment we have 2 of their forward stations unlocked, so it looks pretty good, and we are still winning Gamma. I don't know where the enemy team is at the moment. It looks like they're spread out a lot. They're both trying to stop both of their both trying to recap both of their forward station while defending their base and trying to cap Gamma. So they really have their forces spread out a lot. And now we respawn. We still have one, or almost have, a forward station again. I jump to that sector, and you see here I do not have the Gamma 3 buff, so I do not have jump access from Gamma, but we do have Alpha unlocked, so I can still get access. 73% capped, and we have everybody flooding in right now. This is an ideal position. I'm coming in a little late, but it's not too bad, because hopefully that means I can use my boost to catch up with my allies, and they will have some time to get into the enemy base. So again, boost in, trying to catch the super lifter here. I want to include him in my bubble, but he seems hellbound on just moving around the station. So I just open up my bubble where I am, dive down, try to get into cover, and there we go. Base fully capped, and that ends the game. So I hope this showcased a little bit what you can do in the Enforcer. Sorry, forgot the name there. And how you can use the cap rate buoy to be a very, very offensive, very maneuverable ship. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, I will see you guys in space.